Hey, SakuraYueKo here. So in this video I would like to talk about two things. One is about ADHD, as the title says, but the other one very quickly is that I have another YouTube channel called Edge of Moon because it's for my music, where I'm under the artist name Edge of Moon. I wanted to make a video about it like a few weeks ago, but for reasons which I will explain with the whole ADHD shiznaz we're about to discuss after, I didn't make the video. So go check out my music video if you're interested. But yeah, let's get into things with ADHD here. Okay, so a lot of you already knew this, but for those of you that don't know me and didn't know, I'd been on a waiting list to be assessed for ADHD for about a year. Like I applied a year ago and I was waiting about 9 months, but like they take a few months to get your documents together and put you on the waiting list to begin with. So basically I had my assessment last week and I've taken the past sort of 6 days-ish to process what I've been told, basically. So again, for those of you that don't know, I'm very into psychology and learning about like mental health disorders, and I've been thinking I had ADHD for a long while before I even applied. And I've been to therapy for depression symptoms and all this the past few years. But yeah, so I was diagnosed last week and I have to say I was not surprised in the slightest, right? I've been expecting them to be like, yeah, you have ADHD. Like, the assessment was an hour long and just at the end of it he completely, like, he wasn't like on the fence about it at all. He was like 100% unhesitantly, I have ADHD, and he's like, right, we're gonna put you on the waiting list now to get medication. So yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, what I want to talk about is like how I knew I had ADHD before being diagnosed. So I don't work, right? I've been diagnosed with ME and fibromyalgia. Like, I was diagnosed with ME when I was 22. I'm now 30 years old. I've been out of work since I was 22. Like, I got diagnosed and then I shortly after went on to disability, and I've been living off of disability because of my ME, which was like super fucking bad back in the day when I was first diagnosed. Didn't have fibromyalgia, but it crept up on me, so I also now deal with pain symptoms. So it's like I'm not as tired as I used to be, but like I can be in a lot of pain from doing barely anything. What my doctor has said, because this guy who assessed me, he is now my doctor, my ADHD specialist, what he said is that the medication should help with my ME symptoms as well, because it should give me energy, right? It should give me energy. Because the thing is with ADHD is that like a lot of people think like, oh, ADHD, you're like buzzing, like you're off the rails kind of vibe, like you're always energetic and always on the go. Yes and no. Like, if you don't end up with the physical crap that I've ended up with, then yes, you will be very much on the go. You'll be very like entrepreneurial with stuff. Like a lot of people with ADHD, like they have like all these ideas, right? Like, and then they go and implement them and whatever. But the thing is with ADHD was we don't complete stuff. Like, we will start something and get other people on board and it's so exciting, and then we fuck off. So that's why ADHD people end up with the sort of like entrepreneurial title when it comes to like working at business stuff. They're very good at coming up with ideas, right? So having said that, I've not started up like, a business like in the legal sense and stuff where I've actually registered, but I've started up with like business ideas that have never come to fruition where I've actually registered them, because I lose interest so quickly and move on to the next thing that it's just like, I just haven't gotten to that point where I've actually registered something officially. And it's, yeah, I've tried many different things. So that was my first clue, where it was just kind of like, maybe it's ADHD. Like, it doesn't have to be like a job thing. It doesn't have to be like, starting up business ideas. You can start up a hobby and, do it for a bit, be really excited about it, and then lose interested. Like, it doesn't have to be work related. I'm sorry if I'm speaking fast. I will try and slow down. But yeah, that would be another one, speaking too quickly. I just realized that I've been recording with my Edge of Moon in the corner. Hold on. There we go. We'll just pretend that never happened. Okay, so back. It's because I'm gonna record for Edge of Moon today as well, and I'm used to recording for Edge of Moon because I post on there once a week. Sorry. Anyway, SakuraYueKo here. What's up? Okay, yeah, so that was probably like the biggest thing, is like starting stuff and not following through, right? The next thing is that I can completely lose an entire day doing one thing. Like, I might plan multiple things in a day, but if I do not have someone disrupt me, or like I set a timer or something, I will not stop. Like, the other things that I had planned that day will get forgotten about, and just the general stuff that you should do every day will get forgotten about. Like eating, for example, going to the toilet. Like, I will not realize I'm desperate for the toilet for a good while. Like, so yeah, like losing yourself in something. Like, a lot of people relate ADHD hyperfocus to flow, which anyone can enter a state of flow. If anyone doesn't know what I mean by flow, there's a very good book about what flow is. I'll put that in the description below, because I can actually put links in the description on this channel. Not salty. But yeah, so ADHD hyperfocus is basically like a form of flow where, like, you know, we like proper get into it and we're happy, we feel productive while we're in that state of flow. And it's pretty addictive, because you just feel good while you're doing something. So that's why, like, you know, when we're really interested in something, we're like really interested in something, and when we're not interested in something, we will be very distractible. Like, we are easily distracted from doing things that we are not interested in, because our focus is already not on the thing. Like, we're already fighting to keep our focus there, so anything that comes along to distract us, like, we will happily just lose our attention on that thing that we're supposed to be doing. So yeah, that brings me to the next one. Like, you know, I pretty much touched on that. So yeah, the third one is like being distractible, like, you know, highly distractible, where yeah, we cannot focus on something that we don't find stimulating, interesting, you know, important versus interesting. Like, for people with ADHD, it's just like those two things, when they don't coincide, unfortunately, we cannot focus. Like, it needs to be important and interesting for us to maintain our focus properly. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, really difficult. It's not impossible, but it's really difficult to buckle down and get shit done that needs to be done. This is why, for me personally, like, when I get like into the zone doing my work and stuff, like, there's a lot of my work, I do enjoy it, right? But there's some stuff where it's just kind of like, oh my god, like, I have to do it. And I've grown to like doing things that I didn't enjoy doing before, and that's really helped. But there are some things where it's just like, oh, I can't be bothered. But it's like, there's no point in doing the things that I already did if I don't do this last final thing, which I fucking hate doing. So it's just, yeah, you kind of have to like see the bigger picture. You have to learn to see the bigger picture of ADHD, because you can't follow things through to the end because you lose interest, right? So you have to sort of be like, right, okay, what's the benefit of me doing this final thing, which is so mind-numbingly boring? And then once you've like managed to like talk yourself into like, this is why it's important, it makes it significantly easier, in my experience, to follow something through to the end when you can see what the benefit is. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is basically, I could be extremely quiet, right? Like, I tend to sit back and I like to observe my surroundings, and I like to listen to other people, and anyway, so I like to credit that side of myself where I sit back and I'll listen, I'll observe, I can be very quiet. That is me being an introvert as a person, like, because for a lot of me trying to assess why I think I have ADHD, there was like this whole like, but I'm quiet, and like, because there's this whole social aspect of ADHD, right, where it's like, you, like, in a social situation, you dominate conversations, you interrupt people, and it's like, I do that, when I have something to say. If I don't have something to say, or I'm very mindful of the fact that I've taken too much floor and I've said too much, then I was like, I'll sit back. Like, I'm either talking too much or I'm very quiet. And I think that people that don't know me that well, they'll be like, why is she so quiet? But I feel like people that are like closer to me, again, they're just kind of like, oh, like, she's a good listener. Which, like, a lot of it is like, you know, I do want to stop, like, I make myself stop and listen because I know what it feels like to just be talked over and no one's listening to me. So I do my best to, like, give other people the floor, so to speak. But then it was kind of like, I like also talking. I like also expressing myself. Like, that's why I became a content creator, is because it gives me the room to speak, you know? Like, I can talk to you guys and you answer in the comments after I've said everything. Like, there's no one interrupting me when I do this kind of thing. And when I'm streaming as well, like live streaming on Twitch, no one can interrupt what I'm saying. So I can just get into my own flow, right? Where I can actually just say everything that's on my mind. And yeah, it's an outlet for me because, as I say, like, it was like growing up, like, I felt like I was always spoken over all the time. And so yeah, I think a lot of it is like I get to just say what's on my mind, which, God, I would be so annoyed and frustrated if I didn't have some kind of outlet. So like, yeah, doing what I do on YouTube, doing what I do on Twitch, Patreon, and also through my music as well. Like, I've started obviously expressing my past, my mental health stuff through music. So I have all these different outlets now, and I'm also writing a book. So, you know, like, I may not be able to dominate a conversation in my friend group because my friend group, we are all neurodiverse, right? We're all a little bit neurospicy. So like, there's always going to be someone in the group that will talk over everyone else, even though we're all very capable of talking over each other because we're all neurospicy, but there is always someone that takes the floor, right? So it's kind of hard for everyone to be heard. But yeah, we do a lot of voice messages in our group chat and stuff, which that helps because it's like, you know, you're then able to just listen to what one person has to say and you can't interrupt, which I prefer communicating in a way where it's like I say what I have to say and then people can respond once I've finished, because yeah, I'll say like a tiny bit of a line, be interrupted, and then it's like the conversation just goes off onto something completely different and I'm like, all right then. Like, let's just completely forget what I was talking about. That's cool. Like, I'm not like, you know, I'm like super mad about that or anything. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Like, it's definitely, like, people who are neurodivergent, we definitely sort of like form together. It just sort of happens. It's weird. Like, we're all like attracted to each other, like some kind of like weird, awkward magnets that somehow find their way to each other, even though we have no idea what the fuck we're doing and where we're going in life. It just happens. It's just some kind of like weird thing, you know? So yeah, that's another thing, is just, yeah, communication with other people, like, and being distracted from conversation. Like, bring us back to being distracted from stuff. Like, you know, we can start off listening to someone, but then our mind will wander off into like some other realm and we'll be thinking about something else, and it's just like, because people can talk for too long, right? And if they're not talking about something that we're interested in, it's like they're feeling like they're getting shit out, which is great. But if we're not interested in what they're saying, we're just like, oh fuck, you're still talking. Like, I missed the last like 10 minutes of what you were just saying. It just makes communication extremely difficult when you're like in a group of people who are neurodiverse. But as I was saying, like, you know, doing the whole thing where you can talk one at a time and listen to that person before responding, like, that works a lot better for a reason, because you actually manage to get everything out and get your point across, because it takes us a while to get our point across, right? I'm just trying to think if there's like another thing that I can like really mention. I mean, I would say that my schedule when it comes to like content creation is very much affected by my physical health. Like, you know, if I like plan to make a video on a certain day and I can't because I feel like crap, like, or I don't stream on a certain day because I feel like crap, like that happens a lot, right? Like, so I don't know if I would exactly say that that is affected by my ADHD, but like things are definitely affected by my ADHD when it comes to content creation. Like what I decide to make my content on, like I might plan to make a video or stream a certain game, but when the time comes, when the day comes, it's not the vibe, you know? So in that effect, it does affect things, like in that way. But yeah, if I don't make a video at all, or if I don't stream on a day, it's usually because of physical reasons, because of my ME and fibromyalgia, mostly. But yeah, definitely when it comes to me creating like charity events and like deciding, oh, we're gonna play this game today, like just suddenly out of nowhere, like I change up my schedule when it comes to like what days I'm streaming on, and it's just, yeah, I can be a little bit like that, where it's just a bit sporadic, you know, but I try and not do it as often as I actually want to. Like I take some time to think, and I'm like, would this change in schedule be beneficial in the long run, or is it just something that I feel like doing right now because it fits my mood? So I will try and sit on something for a little bit and think about it before going ahead, and that has actually helped, because it's like, you know, one week it's like, oh yeah, this is a great idea, and then the next week I'm just like not in the same mindset, you know? It's just, I'm really hoping that being on medication calms everything down, and I'm hoping things will make more sense, you know, and I can have a schedule that is, what's the word? Consistent. Yeah, that word consistent. The word consistent is the one reason why I went and started doing therapy to begin with, because I felt my life was very inconsistent. And yeah, that's how I ended up getting treated for depression, and all this, which, you know, yeah, definitely have experienced depression for sure. But the reason why has been discovered now. Like, undiagnosed ADHD is a massive cause of depression, obviously, for obvious reasons, you know? So they weren't wrong, but yeah, the underlying reasons of why I was depressed, they were never really discovered, so, until now. Anyway, I'm sure I could talk about this for like a lot longer, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna end this here. If you guys have any questions to do with ADHD or anything, then let me know. I'm changing my schedule. just so we know, I'm changing my schedule. I haven't made a video for this YouTube channel in a bit again. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Sundays away from Twitch as like a whole thing, because I haven't streamed on a Sunday in ages, right? But like, it's still there in my mind, taking up mental space, that I need to stream on a Sunday, and it's not doing me any favors. So I'm gonna take that mental space back, that mental energy back, and I'm gonna say I'm only gonna stream on Twitch Mondays and Thursdays. And then I'm gonna try and post on this YouTube channel once a week, and I will be posting on Edge of Moon once a week. So we're gonna give this a go. My hope is that I can do that until I'm on the medication, and then hopefully I don't have issues with the medication, right? And then it helps me function better, and then maybe, just maybe, I will be able to gradually increase on each platform, right? It would be nice if I could increase the amount of work that I can mentally do, because I feel like time gets away from me way too often, and it's like, am I dissociating? Probably a little bit. Like, where is my time going? I have no idea. So yeah, fingers crossed that in a few months' time, when I'm on this medication, things will start to feel a lot more doable, and yeah, we'll have to see how things go, because I don't know how it's going to affect me, you know? Like, obviously it's going to help me in some way, but like, don't know how. So anyway, that's all very much in the future. I'm sorry about this light, by the way. It has been pissing me off. I even moved the camera this way because we had a lot more window going on in the background. Like, those blinds are useless. Useless. Anyway, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in another video next week. And also, yeah, don't forget to go check out my other channel if you're interested in my music. I will be also talking about music, and you guys can, like, you know, talk about music with me, ask me questions. I'll see you guys very soon, and hope you have a good week. Bye!